So, with the popularity of plant-based burgers like Impossible and beyond, I wanted to make my own plant-based potato roll. Today's the first day. I'm going to run you through my ingredient choice, initial recipe design, and the first test bake. Right, let's add the ingredients to the bowl, and then I'll get on to how I decided on these specific ingredients and the quantities for this first bake. So in goes 130 grams of almond milk and 35 grams of the water from cooking the potatoes, 150 grams of all-purpose flour and 150 grams of strong bread flour, 15 grams of barley malt extract, 8 grams of sea salt, 30 grams of extra virgin olive oil, 6 grams of dried yeast and 75 grams of cooked, drained and riced potatoes. Now we'll bring this together with a spoon and then get our hands involved. I've wet my hand just to stop the dough sticking too much. And while I'm mixing this, I'll run you through my draft recipe. Now I know I want 6 rolls with a dough weight of 95 grams each, so I need to get an overall dough weight of 600 grams. Now I use baker's percentages to draft this out and you can see those in brackets. 300 grams of flour total, 150 grams of strong bread flour and 150 grams of all-purpose flour should give the right strength but also produce a soft roll. I'm going to shoot for an initial hydration of 55%, but remembering that the potatoes and the other ingredients are going to add to the overall hydration. So 55% works out to 165 grams and I'm going to split this between 130 grams of almond milk and 35 grams of potato water. So I'm going to begin with 25% by weight of cooked potatoes to flour. Now these potatoes must be left to cool and give off their steam and dry out a little before adding to the mix. We've got 15 grams of barley malt extract and that's going to bring the sweetness and a nice malty flavour. The 30 grams of olive oil will add some fat and softness to the roll. 8 grams of sea salt should be spot on for the seasoning, and 6 grams of dried yeast should work out well for our leavening agent for the same day dough. Now, while I was mixing, I added another 15 grams of water as the dough felt quite dry and tight. So there's our first adjustment, which I've noted down. Now the dough's been mixed, we can leave it out to bench rest, covered for 20 minutes or so. Let's get the dough out onto the worktop and knead it for about 5 minutes or so. You can feel a difference with this dough compared to a standard flour dough. It becomes smooth, but the texture's different. It's certainly softer. This is the first time I've worked with a potato dough and the consistency feels good, so I think I've got the hydration on point. This can now be left to prove, covered at room temperature. And for reference, my kitchen's 33 degrees Celsius today or 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, an hour and a half later and my dough has proved nicely. Now we can get the dough turned out onto our worktop and check the weight. Divide this down by 6 and we'll have our individual roll sizes. Weighing them isn't crucial, but I get a bit uncomfortable if my balls aren't even. You can shake them in your hands or against the countertop like this. This dough is a little tacky, so the bench scraper really helps out. Now I don't want these to rise and become overly tall, so I'm going to give them a quick dust with flour and then I'm going to push them flat before arranging them on my baking tray. And these are going to prove, again, out at room temperature, covered with a large plastic bag. These took 45 minutes to rise in my kitchen and I'll be baking these in the centre of an oven that's been preheated to 180 degrees Celsius or 355 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm guessing they're going to take about 18 minutes. Right, now to discuss the things that I'm happy with and I guess more importantly the things I'm not. I like the size and height of the buns. The external texture is really good. The rolls are soft, they give when squeezed but bounce back when you let go. So the structure's good. The colour of the crust is on point for me too. I definitely don't want a glossy finish for these potato buns. Right, the almond milk definitely doesn't seem to do anything for this roll, so I'll be changing that, and I'm not happy with the malt extract providing the sweetness, so that needs looking at or tweaking. And lastly, I want to compare different percentages of potato in the buns to see what difference that makes. So let me know what you think to the first test bake in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Stay tuned.